All right, horse people from Horseland. This is Joe Butterfield with Competitive Horsemanship. I'm making this video today for the owners of this horse so they can practice at home on their older horse and get the things done with the older horse that I would like them to do with this horse. Okay, so the first thing is when you get on, you have to have, this has to be like old hat. This is a must. Okay, side to side gives you, so lateral gives you vertical. So then we have our vertical. Now notice when I give the vertical, how I get engaged with my core and my legs take a hold through my thighs, through my calf muscles, and I get very at attention. I'm almost pushing with my feet, right? So there's the vertical. You have to have lateral to get vertical. Has to be very, very good. Okay? So then from there, it's like, can I handle my hindquarters? Hold the shoulder. Can I move my hindquarters separate from the shoulders? Okay? All right, so there's another thing I want to talk to you folks about in Horseland, phases. I have a set of rock grinder rowels on. There's going to be people that might comment on this if they actually get into this video and watch it that are disbelievers, but I'm telling you, if you use the right phases, that the rock grinder rowels are actually 10 times better than a roping rowel, because these are sharp and the message gets through to your horse way sooner, so you're not picking on your horse all the time. So the phases of your feet, and again, if you don't use phases, you're going to be in a bind. All right, so knowing the phases of your feet, just turning your toe out is phase one. When you turn your toe out, you'll feel your calf muscle gets in connection with your horse. That isn't working, then turn your toe down. If that isn't working, now down more and raise your spur up. And then phase four would be all three of them. Raise four would be raise your spur up and roll it in there to where you get the response that is needed. You have to be good with your feet. These feet is what makes the face soft. What is the stick for? The stick is for, if that isn't working, the stick can help with rhythmic pressure. This is steady pressure. This would be rhythmic pressure. So I would bump, bump, bump. So I'm going to take a hold, put my foot back, turn the toe down. Yeah, it's not really working. See how this, now my horse gets the message, and I carried this stick around for maybe a week. The horse gets the message, not frustrated, and away you go. So be good with that. That's the hindquarters. So this horse is geared towards barrel racing, but this video is a great video for just any kind of horsemanship, whether it be competitive horsemanship or just riding in the mountains type horsemanship or English horsemanship, just being able to operate all four corners of your horse. So now I'm going to do a counter arc, holding the hips still and moving the shoulders around. And you can see I'm using my foot, but if the foot doesn't work, I'm using the stick. The horse gets the message, done. You'll see a lot of dressage riders ride with it's a whip, but they don't use it's not like a whip. It's an aid, okay? So, and again, you move your foot forward for the shoulders, and you get the indirect arc moving around. Indirect arcs in the barrel racing are huge because I'm going to need that indirect arc. If we go over here, number one, it's going to be a different side. I'll go over here to the second barrel. But see how, like, I'm going to crank this horse's head to 90 degrees. And I could do an indirect arc if I wanted. But the reason that I do this is that I might have, when I want this horse to know, when I push this rein up against the neck, it means get over. And I want that to be instilled in him. But I don't want, if I'm going to the left, I don't want to push him over with the head straight because I need roundness to go around a round object. So that's why I'm going to show you on the pylons a drill to do that will really help you with this. So having that indirect arc. Now I want to talk about, that's the inside rein. The outside rein, I want you to get really good at, and this is a tricky one. So most people, when they want to go to, let's say, the left, they're going to pull and pull and pull on a left rein, and they're going to leave the outside of their horse falling to the outside. So in my exercises, in my training, when I pull, I'm only asking for her to look to the left, but I'm going to pull the outside rein back so she can move the outside of her around. Why back? It's a huge subject with me. I figure if you can control the hips, the shoulders are really, really easy to control. So that being said, is that when I want to go that way, eventually, yes, we will just lay this outside rein on the neck like this. But this rein is connected also to this foot, to this hip. So when I want to go around, this foot, outside foot, is pushing. It's pushing. Yeah, someday I can lay this rein on the neck like this. But in the starting stages, you're going to get longer reins and pull it back. So where that's going to come into effect, so let's say you're going into your barrel here and your horse wants to be long. So I've got my arc like this. When my horse wants to be long here, meaning step out of these tracks, I'm going to put an outside rein on and an outside foot. And I'm almost going to two track around this barrel. I'm not going to two track, but I want you to understand how this outside rein, by pulling back, says do not step off my tracks. The outside rein is really important, but again, it's connected to this foot. So this foot, I am more interested about where my hips are going around this barrel than the shoulders. Yes, I gotta work on these shoulders, but if I can control the hips, keep her driving forward, see how this rein is back. And here's the other thing, like I'm like almost leaning back and riding this corner of the horse. I'm not on this corner, because that's what they're going to try and do. They're going to try and come up here and they're going to stab their front end and they're going to pull you forward, and it's going to make you get on this corner, and you got to say, no, lift your front end up, and see how I'm like almost two track off that barrel there. So I stay on the lead and I get a lot of push into the next barrel. We'll talk about the push here in a bit with some exercises, but here's the exercise for the controlling the shoulders and the hips that I do on these pylons. So I'm just gonna pretend that this is a barrel, and I go up here with about a 6-foot circle, and I'm going around this circle, riding this back corner, but when I finish, see how I'm gonna finish like this? I'm gonna 2-track over here. So 2-tracking is these 2 feet are outside of the front shoulders, and I'm gonna 2-track around this barrel here, and then go back over here to this barrel. Again, coming up into the pocket, I'm going to take a hold, keep driving my horse. I'm going to really ride this back right corner, come around this barrel, and I'm going to push them hips over here. I'm going to 2-track over here to this barrel, 6-foot circle. And then you'll get to where you just hold them hips. Instead of 2-tracking, you'll just hold them. Leave that there a little bit, 2-tracking. When they stall like that, just the inside foot will bump and encourage them to go forward. Nice little arc around here. 2-track across your tracks that you come in on, and then just hold and just encourage to go forward with that reverse arc. 6-foot circle, hold them hips, guide the shoulders around there. Do a little bit of 2-tracking to cross your tracks. Once you cross your tracks, just hold that hip. Go over here on this one. And then reverse it. And you can do this at a walk to begin with, and then do it at a trot. It might take you a month. Okay? See, now she's leaving, and I'm like, no, don't go out there. 2-track over here. I get over here. Now I'm just holding these hips. Softness on that mouth. Over here. 2-track. Encourage with the inside foot to keep going forward. And then just hold them hips. Encourage her to go up. Oh, she leaves them tracks. Don't let her leave that 6-foot circle. Overdo your 2-tracking over here like this, okay? So there's a great exercise for you to handle the shoulders and handle the hips, right? You're not going to 2-track around the barrels, but you definitely want to be able to hold your hips. All right, so when I was thinking of what I needed to all do on this video, I was going to do the fence first, because I want this video to be for you, Laura, that you know what is your whole systematic training for the day on the horse at home. So when you get to this horse, so I would like you first of all to come in and go to the fence. So you're just going to go to the fence, do the fence work first, then do that, because that's going to prepare you for the fence will prepare you for the pylons. So you're just walking down the fence. It's called stick to the rail. You're going down the rail. You're going to pick your horse up, and you're going to flex the horse to the outside of the line that you're on. You're going to, so it's called shoulders in. So you're just going to shoulders in, meaning into the arena. Go deep into your corners. When you stick to the fence, you leave your horse on a loose rein for a little bit, and just see that you can drive her up into the corner. If you can't drive her up into the corner, or she's going to start to lean, then do your exercise. Hold the hip, have the head look in, Don't let her drop them ribs when you make your corners in the arena. I'm a stickler about this because it's a great training tool to teach your horse just to go straight into your corners. They're going to want to cut the arena off. They're going to drop their shoulder, drop their ribs. Let them make the mistake and then correct them. And then along this side of the arena, I'm going to practice hips in. See how, too, that my body, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but we're going to talk about this on how my body is augmented. I got the left side back and the right side is forward, because that's the same body posture that you need to get a right lead. So when you're practicing this on the fence, obviously, if you need to move the hips in, the legs got to go back, your shoulder goes back, the stick goes back, the rein goes back on the left side, and everything on the right side goes forward. So practice that. Practice the correct body position. Again, deep into the corners, push, push, push. Come around the corner like this. Okay, so that's shoulder in to the arena. Practice it. Keep going straight with your hips, but the shoulder goes into the arena. I'll talk a little bit here just for a second about softness. So when I ask for softness, I'm like, first of all, I ask with steady pressure. Steady. If it isn't working, it's a bump, bump, bump with my hand and my foot. So there's rhythmic pressure with my foot, and it's going bump, bump, bump to encourage her to get off that rein and keep going forward. Okay? So that's and then when we go the other way, obviously we would work everything the other direction. The shoulders, that's the right shoulder in and the right hip in. And when we go the other way, we're going to the left. So it'd be the left shoulder in, left hip in. Okay? Again, take a hold of your horse going into the corner, push her up into the corner, ask for some flexion, encourage her arc. I want him to arc. And I don't know how well this Pivo auto zooms in. I'm guessing not very well. I'm a long ways away. But anyways, I'll try and talk real good about what I'm doing. And again, so there I just made sure that she, had the correct posture going around a square corner. All right, and then so you did that at a walk. Now you can do it at a trot. Loose rein, remember. Let them make the mistakes. I'm going to take a hold of her as I'm driving her up into this corner. And again, I'm kind of riding that back left hip to keep it driving. I'm more interested about the hips, and then the shoulders are easy to maintain. And then as that gets good, remember lateral flexion gets vertical. So if my lateral's starting to get soft, now I'm going to work on just vertical. Right here, I'm pushing with my torso, and my feet are they're like bumping to encourage her up into that bridle. So you only pull so much, and then your body and your feet do the rest, pushing her up into that bridle. Don't over pull. Try and remember this saying as to take your horse to the bridle. I'm going to get contact here, and the rest is I'm going to lean back a little bit and take my horse to the bridle. The more that you can go around your barrels riding the back of your horse rather than the front of your horse, the better off you are. Okay? So, then from there, obviously you'd go the other way. For video's sake, I am not going to, because it takes a lot to upload these onto YouTube when you got country Wi-Fi. Anyways, I'm going to get rid of these pylons. I will edit this out. And the next thing that we're going to do is circles. Now we're going to do circles. And I'm going to do them at a canter. We need to get a nice lead departure. And again, we need softness. We need hip to the inside. We need that shoulder stood up. And we need to encourage them to go forward with softness. And the one thing that I'm going to talk to you or mention here, there's a little bit of a probably problem that happens is, okay, once I get that going, what gets them to go from a walk up into the canter? For me, it's like I was taught, then I'm just trying to lift that belly up because there's some elevation. When you start getting nice lead departures, you will feel a horse stay soft in the face. They'll elevate, and that's what I'm doing. I'm helping them elevate. So if I'm asking for a left lead, I'm on the back here on this corner. I'm asking them to elevate, holding that shoulder, and a cluck. When I do the cluck, which I'm not going to do right here, that means, come on, let's try it now. But you can walk along until you feel everything correct. If it takes you 10 steps to get everything correct, that's what you need to do. That's how they'll get confidence in getting a lead departure, and they won't panic. Because if you don't take the time and getting all of that right and you panic, they know that they're not in the right form to get the lead, and then they'll start panicking and raising their head, and they won't get the lead. The other thing is, it's a reminder, do not let go of the hip until you are actually cantering. Okay? So we're going to do that. We need a lead departure. And then I'm going to work shoulders in and out, hips in and out on the circle. I'll talk you through it. And we're also going to, I want you to do a couple pull through the middles. So you're going to be testing and practicing your outside rein. You just keep the flexion and you're going to pull on the outside rein, pulling it past here. Not like this, not until they get trained, and go through the middle of the bullseye. It's like a dartboard. When I say the middle, there's the red dot in the middle of the dartboard. If we're going to the left, you have to go past the left side of the bullseye. Okay? Not the right side. The reason being is basically what happens is when you make that pull and you got to make on that 90-degree turn, it's a lot of work for them. And pretty soon they quit leaving the outside of your circle because it's a lot of work, because you make that 90-degree, well, I don't know if it's 90, but 70-degree turn to get to the inside of that bullseye. If you keep your horse calm and quiet and practice that maneuver, then soon they won't try the outside of you. And basically what horsemanship is like, stay between my hands and stay between my legs. But I have to give exercises for them on a loose rein to get them to make the mistake so I can correct them. And I do it and I do it and I do it. And then pretty soon I don't have to do it anymore, or rarely. But when I go to a new arena or a new atmosphere, their head's up in the air, they lose concentration, you stick them on that circle, and they'll come back into focus for you because they've done it and done it, okay? And then after the outside rein, we're going to do a counter canter, and we're going to work on the inside of our horse, okay? So you'll see me do that also. Let me just go here. So we were working to the right. So we'll work to the right here, right circle. I'm going to do a lead departure for you. Again, take your time, get softness. Now I'm going to raise the spur up into their hindquarters and cluck. And where we go. And then I might, right there, as she left off, she kind of rooted her nose, even though she got the lead. And I'm like, nope, I don't want you rooting that nose, thinking that that's a good thing, because then that'll start coming back into the departure. Okay, so here we are, and we're going to make this 90-degree turn here. Pushing with the outside leg, pulling on the outside rein, and keeping the arc. Keeping the arc. There she falls in, so I take her out. But we will do some reverse arcs. And I'm also hugging her with my feet. My feet are very close. I'm hugging them. Here we go. Shoulder in. Shoulder out. Hip in. And a canter. Hip out. Okay. Now we're going to do a counter canter. Put that outside foot and almost like push that hip ahead of the eyeball. And then get that shoulder to come around with softness. Run that rein up the neck. Maybe get that hip to come in so they don't drop right there. You've wasted your time if you let them drop right there. I'm kind of running through all of this because I don't want to take up camera time. I would do more with this mare because you can see she's kind of got her head up in the air today. But I would do more. So then after all of that, then I just work on vertical flexion, like just kind of lifting her up, telling her to get soft. You know, even though I got a hold of her, you still don't feel whether it's leaning. Tell that wind's really hurting my earphones, but you guys will get the drift. I'll figure out how to get a sock on these. Again, through the middle, just hold the arc, push. Keep, almost like that's just like you're going around a barrel right here. I'm pulling with the outside rein. I just hold the arc with the inside and pull on the outside. Probably going to edit some of this out. And when you do this reverse canter, you can take the whole arena up for a while. You don't have to do such a small circle. Ooh. Gets hard right there, raises her head up. I Just bypass it. Go around here till she gets soft. Keep her driving. Woo. 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 I'm going to do some fast circles now. I've only been doing it for a couple weeks. Get off my back pockets. Chase her around here a little bit. Keep the softness. Didn't quite go as planned on the easy thing. This mare's a little hard today. So that's why you need all these exercises, so you have a go-to. Squeezing with my legs, clucking. Clucking means go faster. There we go. Put my reins in one hand. Get a couple circles. Test them out, because we're going to be riding barrels with one hand eventually. So can you ride your horse with one hand and still teach him to stay in form? I'm going to take a hold of two hands right here. Ooh. Roots on me there. Ooh. 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 Take them shoulders. So the next thing is for me is you have to have your horse really, really broke in order to get fly-in lead changes. We've got good departures, but for me, when I leave that first barrel, I want them to change. And in order to do that, I want to prepare them for it. And I'll just show you what I'm asking for here on the barrel. Obviously, I'm not going to do it with this setup. But here's the thing, is I'm going to come around here and I'm going to make sure that I ride and finish the barrel to where this hip gets to the midway point of that barrel. And I'm going to go over here to where my horse's head is about 40 degrees to the left of the third barrel. That's my finish. And then I'm going to ask her to change and go over there almost, well, you got a two track. It's going to be a flying lead change. You're not going to be two tracking, but I just want you to get the, for my horses, I want them to change. So I'm going to hold my arc all the way around, keep going, a little outside rein to push that head over. Then I switch my body. And again, switching my body from being on a right lead to a left lead, this foot will go back and I'll get the change. So I'm going to practice that by going diagonally across this arena. I'm going to be in a right lead coming to this fence. And when I get to the fence with my horse as straight as possible, so I would be in a right lead, then I'm going to change my body and ask for a left lead, and vice versa, going over to this fence. So let's just see here if I can get this done. The draw reins are on because all horses are going to do it to begin with. They're going to want to lift their head and get this. You need softness. I put the draw reins on, even though it's not a gimmick. It's not like she's done anything bad. It's just going to help me till she gets relaxed to get the change. Again, get the departure, softness. See, roots her head, doesn't get the change. Didn't get the change. Gets the change. I canter a few steps, then break her down. Let her get quiet and tell her thank you very much. Appreciate you working with me. Now I'm going to prepare to go the other direction. Gets the change. Let her break down. For now, I've only done this 3 days with her. I don't want to do too much. Trying to do flying lead changes can really upset a horse. You have to have them really broke and know what you're doing. And I just want her to be quiet and stay quiet. During the change. So I'm going to take these draw reins off and I'm going to make a run or two on the barrels. All right. My camera is just a little bit in the way, but we'll get by it, I guess. So we're not going to double wrap this time. Again, we'll talk about it in a bit, what I'm all looking for here. I want a nice lead departure. Gets a nice change. Bend that head and neck. Pull on that outside rein so she stays on the track. Hold that outside hip. All right. So that's as good as I can get today without upsetting the apple cart. Anyways, so Laura, your main thing is this softness, right? Move these hips around. Then move the shoulders around. You can, a little bit of forward motion here. Okay, at a standstill, get it at a standstill, then do it on the fence. You're going to the right, shoulder in. Then when you get the hip in, have the nose looking into the arena. Get that hip coming off the fence. Encourage with your inside foot, bump, bump, bump. Hold the outside in there, okay? Both directions. If you're going left, you would put the hip to the inside, nose to the inside. You'd put the shoulder to the inside, and you can do the shoulder to the outside too, going along the fence. Shoulder to the outside, okay? And you can move the hip actually on the fence. You could move the hip to the outside. You're just trying to use the fence as somewhere for them to be attached to. So you can still move the shoulder in to the fence. Try and hold the hip straight. Drive her forward. It'll be a gelding for you. And then once you get that done a little bit, then practice like driving them up into the bridles, getting attached to these hind quarters with your core. Okay? So that's the first thing. You're going to go in there, stand still, get everything, then on the fence, then the pylons, then after the pylons, the circles. Go back and watch that video. Watch this video over and over and over again. And then that's basically your day. Don't worry if you want to go mess with the barrels, just like somewhat, yes. Meaning you walk, trot. You're gonna have to break your horse to a drop to a trot to get the other lead. Practice that. Drop to a trot, get the other lead. The reason that I'm a stickler on that is when you get the other lead, whether it be drop to the trot, it just shapes everything up for your horse. You're coming around here, then you get the other lead. I get the flying lead change, but for you, you're going to drop to a trot. If your horse gets a little rammy right here, sit here, have half of a cigarette, then ask for your lead. Keep her soft. You just come over here in the right lead. It's just so much easier to get the form to the function. You got to get good lead departures. Then you can go over there and get the right form. If they're in the wrong lead and you go over there, it's just a mess around. I would use a different word, but this will go on YouTube, so I won't. Everything's scrambled. So, getting the correct lead is key. So you'll go around there. Drop to a trot. You just get the right form when you can be on the correct lead. Okay. All right. So the rest of you people that watch this, I wanted to put this little blurb on here. CompetitiveHorsemanship.com. I have an online program there. Yes, it's $500 US, but it explains all of this right from the bottom floor up to the top floor, right where I'm at right now. It's a paint by number program of all the groundwork, how to get these hips moving, shoulders working. And then once you get on their back, how to get things at a standstill like this. And then how to do it on the fence, how to do it in the circles. It's in depth. It's an in-depth program of what I do every day to get these horses quiet and maneuvering their body parts like I need them to do to be athletic for an event. It doesn't matter whether you're a barrel racer, calf roper, steer wrestler, team roper, equestrian. It's just good horsemanship. Get everything broke. What have I been on? This is like maybe we're like 7 weeks on this horse this year after last year's colt start. I've got her patterned. Anyways, competitivehorsemanship.com. There's a good program there. If you don't do it, folks, please tell me whether in the comments below whether or not you like this. If you want me to make more, don't be scared in life to give people thumbs up. Whether you like, if you don't like it, give me a thumbs down. If you want to leave a comment, leave comments. I love to interact with people. I'll help you for free with just a little tip here or there. I love your comments. If you'd like to, leave comments, leave thumbs up, subscribe. A lot of people are scared to subscribe because it leaves their tracks there showing that they've been there and watched. But like, again, I was told by one of my mentors one time, like when you see somebody do something good, don't be scared to give them a thumbs up. It feels so good. So if you like it, please leave a comment, leave thumbs up. Anyways, competitivehorsemanship.com, and then YouTube, obviously, you're watching this, it's Competitive Horsemanship. Uh, Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.